This clip gives an introduction to the new release of the GAA membership system. So the first thing to notice is that while the appearance of the system has changed, the core features remain the same. Some of the layout is a bit more colourful, there's a bit more consistency in the way buttons are positioned, and there are more options there. So I've just logged in and I'm on the welcome screen. So first of all, we look at the members functionality. And we look at members. Again, the layout has changed a little bit, but essentially the main features are still there. So I'm looking at as members, and I have their names, their ID numbers, dates of birth, whether they're a player or not, their address, their town, mobile number and email address. And among the features that have been added here is the ability to sort the data. So if you just float to the right of the name field, there's an upward arrow pointing, and there's a downward there as well, which is hardly visible. You can see it here on unique ID or on date of birth. That gives you the option to sort the data whatever way you like. So if I just want to sort them by name in descending order, they're in ascending order by default. I just click on the upward pointing arrow, and that tells me that because that arrow is no longer visible, that tells me that they're currently sorted in descending order. If I want to reverse it back to ascending order, I just click on the downward pointing arrow. And the same then applies to the other fields in the database. So here both arrows for address 1 are available. In other words, it isn't sorted by address because it's sorted by name. So I can just click on, we'll say, the upward arrow here, and I can sort them in reverse order by address. So it just appears here, this default field called address 1. So I'll just go back now and reverse it again. So I have them in ascending order by address. So there's very few sample records in this application at the minute. That's why the ones with the letter T are starting first. Now after that, the other new features that we're looking at is the number of records we can display per screen, per page. So 20 might be adequate for you, but if it isn't, you can go to 50, 100, 200, etc. So there's a lot of records in this particular sample database. So I'll just leave it at 50 for the minute. And likewise, so there's 50 records being displayed here. And likewise, if you want to go to a certain page in the system, I want to go to page 5. This takes us to page 5. So that's just some ideas of the new features regarding navigation. So it's much more easy to move around the system than it was in the previous version. As far as members are concerned, if I want to go in here and edit Joe Bloggs, I want to change his address or change some of his details, I just double click on the record. The record opens up. So I can just go ahead here and I'll call him Joe Collins. And I'll give him an address of the square, and it'll be in Cornamedy in Athlone. I'll just save him. This should save Joe Collins. So he probably appears here somewhere about halfway down my page. But with Joe Bloggs around, he won't. He's down about 10 pages perhaps. So that's a record been amended. Now obviously the key things in the system that you'll want to do is add records. So I'm not going to add a record currently, but when you go to under the View Members tab and you hit Add Member, it'll open up a form to add a new member. So here we go. So I'll just go in very quickly. Ben Dolan, and his date of birth is I'll just pick it off the list here. Okay, it's giving me a date in 2003. I'll pick a date in 2002, and I'll make it the 12th of February. So when I do that, hopefully it'll give me that guy's name and give him that date of birth. Why it doesn't let me move, I'm not so sure. So I pick a date of birth. Albert there. I did. It's not inclined to let me away from that for some reason. Escaping isn't getting me out of it. Okay, I'll make him a full member of his club anyway, or make him a youth member of his club rather. And I leave the other details and I'll register him. Okay, so I'm adding a new member and I'm going to register him. So the system should register him for me. It's looking for the town. Okay, that's fine. So I'll say it's Cooleven, Coosan, and Athlone. So again, like the older version of the system, when you make a mistake adding a record, it comes back and lets you know where the gaps are, highlights the fields that have been left empty. So now hopefully it'll register this record for me. So there it is. So I call him Dolan. So if I go back now and view the members, somewhere on my lists we'll see this character called Dolan, and of course he's down halfway down the database because of the number of records in it. So I'll just sort them in reverse order to see can I see him on this page. He might appear. So I have Joe Walsh, yeah, and he's appearing there in black. Okay, so every other record in this screen currently is in red because I haven't registered anybody, whereas Ben Dolan appears in black because I just added him. Now the same process would apply to adding a new contact. Okay, you just go add contact. But if I want to take this character here, Joe Walsh, and I want to register him, so I'm going to go over to the registration option. And I want to find one of those people, so I can sort them in reverse order again over the registration page. There's Joe Walsh looking at me, and I want to register him. So I'm going to go and there's options in here, set him as a full whatever type of member. So he's there by default, as you can see over in the membership type column as full. So the other options are here and drop down. If I want to put him as a player, I'd tick that box, the player box. He's the only one I want to register, so I'll scroll down to the bottom and there's register button down the bottom if I want to use that. Likewise, as you might have spotted before, I scroll down, there's a register button up on the top. So again, you can tick a number of them. I'm just going to tick one here, Joe Walsh, and try to register him, and hopefully he's been registered. So if I go back now to view my members, so here it says all persons up in green were successfully registered. Over to my view members page, and I'll sort them in reverse order. So there's Joe Walsh appearing in black. So again, just to go back over some of the other features in the previous version, we can still build our little searches like always, search for whatever. Okay, we can still build teams. Okay, so we can give our teams names. Okay, here we can call it's called the A team. So we can go in and edit the team details. Okay, so we call it team. Here it's called team extension. Adult football team extension A, and alternative name. We'll just call it senior team. Senior football team. And next. Okay, we can add members. Okay. So we have an option here to whatever players registered. If we had players, here they're all appearing. They took a long time to appear. Okay, so we can add various players to the team. So we tick on the say Eddie Allen, Joe Arthurs, and we add them. Okay, I'm not sure if those boys are players, so that could be my only little problem here. So it could. And they've been added to my team. So then I go to next, and next allows me to add mentors, I think. Scroll up, I'll see that. If it lets Okay, I'm now adding mentors to the team. So we'll say that Anne Acton and Jack Ash are my 2 mentors. I can add them here to my team. So there they are, they're the 2 mentors. So that's just giving you a quick flavor as to some of the features of the revamped membership system. So I just did a quick look at how you navigate around it, quick look at adding a member, some registration, and then there a quick look at a team. So fundamentally it remains the same as the previous version system. It's just that the interface has changed, the look of it has changed, and we have more flexibility as regards viewing records, sorting records, etc. So hopefully it'll be easy to make the transition. So that's the end of this clip.